I'm Jackson.
I'm Luke. I'm Charlie. And today we'll be showing you how the 3 laws of physics apply to basketball. Into the video.
Newton's first law describes that an object in motion tends to stay in motion, while an object at rest tends to stay at rest. This law is also known as the law of inertia, as this is what we call the object's tendency to resist a change in motion. An example of this law is when a ball is about to roll out of bounds, you, the unbalanced force, acts on it to stop it from rolling. When a player is in triple threat, the ball is at rest until acted on by an unbalanced force, your opponent, slapping it out of your hands. Newton's second law describes that the acceleration of an object is dependent on both the mass of the object and the force applied. This tennis ball moves at a very fast rate because its mass isn't that much and we're applying a decent amount of force to it. As you can see, the basketball, having a relatively larger mass than the tennis ball, moves at a much slower rate when applied with the same force. You can see that when we roll both of them side by side, the basketball moves much slower, even though the same amount of force is applied. This is due to the basketball's much heavier mass than the tennis ball. If we were to apply more force to the object, then the object would roll much faster. But if we were to apply less force, the object would move much slower. When you're shooting a layup, you use less force to shoot the basketball into the air. When you're shooting a three-pointer, you have to apply more force to the ball to get it to go farther and reach the net. Newton's third law of motion is that when two objects collide, an equal and opposite force is exerted on the object that collides with the first. One example of this is when you're dribbling the basketball. Dribbling the basketball exerts an equal and opposite force on the ground, causing the basketball to bounce back up. When you're dribbling, the more force you apply to the ball, the higher up it will bounce. When you apply a lot of force to the bounce, then it bounces up much higher than you would if you used less force. Another is when you take a shot and it goes off the backboard. An equal and opposite force is exerted on the backboard, which causes it to bounce off and go into the net.